Nairobi is changing, and this isn't just about a new road or a new building. Across Kenya's capital, entire parts of the city are being redesigned. New pedestrian walkways are appearing across the CBD. Nairobi River is undergoing one of the city's biggest regeneration programs. A new 60,000-seat stadium is rising at Talanta. New transport infrastructure is being planned, and even the way people move through the city is beginning to change. But what's really driving the transformation? And when all these projects are complete, what will Nairobi actually look like? For decades, Nairobi has grown faster than the infrastructure supporting it. More people, more cars, more businesses, more buildings. But the city's infrastructure hasn't always kept up. Today we are beginning to see a different Nairobi. The transformation isn't concentrated in one location. It's happening across multiple parts of the city, from the CBD and major highways to river corridors, transport hubs and new sports facilities. And that's what makes this moment interesting. Nairobi isn't simply adding infrastructure, it's beginning to rethink how the city itself works. One of the clearest signs of this change is right here on the streets. Nairobi CBD is becoming more pedestrian-focused. Walkways that were once congested, damaged or difficult to navigate are being upgraded with new paving, lighting and public spaces. And while these improvements may look small compared with the massive stadium or a highway, they could have much bigger impact on everyday life. A modern city isn't only measured by how fast cars can move, it is also measured by how safely people can walk. This is a different vision of Nairobi, a city where the pedestrian isn't simply an afterthought. But perhaps nowhere is Nairobi transformation more ambitious than along its rivers. For decades, the Nairobi River became synonymous with pollution, sewage and neglected urban spaces. Now that is changing. A 50 billion regeneration program is attempting to tackle the problem from multiple angles, not just cleaning the river, but dealing with the infrastructure around it. Sewer lines, drainage, waste management, riverbanks, public spaces. The ambition is much bigger than simply making the water look cleaner. The goal is to change what happens around the river. Imagine a Nairobi where some of these neglected river corridors become clean, green and usable public spaces. That could fundamentally change the relationship between the city and its rivers. And then there is Talanta. At first glance, this looks like a stadium project. But look closer. Around the stadium, roads, walkways, and bridges are also being developed. There is a reason for that. A 60,000 seat stadium doesn't work if thousands of people can't get to it. So Talanta is becoming part of a much larger urban ecosystem. Sports, transport, roads, pedestrian infrastructure, and potentially one of Nairobi's new landmarks. The stadium may be the headline, but the infrastructure around it could be just as important. But there is one problem that threatens almost everything Nairobi is trying to achieve: traffic. You can build beautiful walkways, you can build world-class stadiums, you can regenerate rivers, but if people spend hours trapped in traffic every day, the city still has a problem. That's why Nairobi is also looking at smarter ways to manage movement across the city. The idea is simple. Use technology to understand traffic and manage it better. And perhaps the biggest transformation is still ahead. Nairobi's future cannot depend entirely on roads. The city needs a different way of moving millions of people. That's where mass transit comes in. Plans for a metropolitan mass rapid transit system are now moving from a planning toward implementation. And the wider railway city vision is designed to connect rail, buses, and pedestrian movement around the heart of Nairobi. If these plans are successfully delivered, this could change the city more dramatically than any individual road project. But there is another side to Nairobi's transformation. Building infrastructure is one thing, maintaining it is another. A beautiful walkway can deteriorate, a clean river can become polluted again, a new road can become congested, and a world-class facility can struggle if the infrastructure around it isn't maintained. So the real test of Nairobi transformation won't be how impressive these projects looks when they are completed. It will be how they perform 5 or 10 years later. What we are seeing in Nairobi is therefore bigger than construction. It's an attempt to change the relationship between people and the city. From the pedestrian walking through the CBD, to the commuter sitting in traffic, to the football fan heading to Talanta, to communities living along the Nairobi River, every one of these projects is connected by one question: can Nairobi become a cleaner, more connected, more accessible, and more modern African capital? Nairobi isn't finished. In fact, We are probably watching the beginning of one of the city's most important transformations. And here at Urban Explorer 254, we are going to keep documenting it, one project, one street, and one transformation at a time. If you want to see where Nairobi is heading next, subscribe to Urban Explorer 254 and join us for the journey.